Hello my friends! Welcome to Haein Yoga. This class is a part of 4-session series on yoga for low back. It's an all-level Hatha Yoga sequence to strengthen and elongate your low back. This sequence can be used as a prevention as well as to heal a chronic back pain. It's very important that you focus on strengthening and elongating rather than stretching your low back. Throughout the sequence, keep your low back steady and stable by engaging your core and keeping your back long, while we stretch the area around the low back, but not directly low back. If you are used to having pain, pain becomes one of the ways to measure whether you feel or not. Pain becomes more known than without pain. My suggestion here is that you become curious and open to different sensations than just pain without trying to get rid of it. Listen to your low back, not just through pain, but all sensations. Make sure that your intention is to support your low back with its condition. Without that acceptance, we won't really go anywhere. Let's be alongside with our low back rather than being on the opposite side, analyzing and trying to find what's wrong with it. Here we go. Let's start in standing position with mountain pose. Have your feet about hip-wide distance. Your big toes slightly pointing inwards, outer edge of your feet parallel to each other. And keeping your arms on the side of your hips with a bit of distance so that your arms are engaged as well. Press your feet against the floor. Gently squeezing in your legs into the center line. Tuck the tailbone in. Pull the low part of the abdomen in. Lifting up through your sternum. Widen your collarbone. Drop your shoulders. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Lifting up through the top of the head. Few breaths here. Feeling that elongation from your feet to the top of the head, while feeling this lock, the steadiness, stability coming from your core and around your hips. Throughout this sequence, it's really important that you keep your low part of the abdomen engaged by pulling in and tucking the tailbone in so that we can really create space in the low back and strengthen rather than stretching them. One more breath here. Keep pressing your feet against the floor, lifting up the sternum, tucking the tailbone in, your knees are straight, squeezing the legs in, low part of the abdomen in, lifting up through the top of the head. And now keeping this engagement in your leg, have your hands around your hips and we're going to gently fold forward. As you do this, pulling the low part of the abdomen in, keep your chest open. You are welcome to bend your knees a little bit. Make sure that your belly is pulled in rather than hanging so that your low back stays long, chest stays open. And now bend your knees as much as you need to reach the floor with your fingertips while keeping your back straight. Once again, whenever you notice tension in your lower back, too much weight being carried, then pull the belly in, but without rounding your lower back. So a few breaths here. Our main intention here is strengthening the lower back. So I would like you to really feel when you touch your lower back that it is hard. And at the same time, also opening the back of the leg. One more breath. Keep bringing stability in your hips and your lower back by pulling the belly in. And with next exhalation, bend your knees up generously. And we're going to fold forward. Bend your knees enough so that your upper body is more like a hanging rather than in rounded stretched position. Your tailbone lifts up and feeling the weight of your upper body hanging from your hips all along your spine. Relax your head. And now from here, straighten your arms, coming back up on your fingertips, straighten your back, pull the belly in. Few breaths, pressing your feet against the floor, gentle squeezing in through your leg to the center line. And with next exhalation, one more time, bend your knees generously, fold forward and allow your upper body to hang. One more breath. And from here, let's come into chair position. Your arms are reaching up to the ceiling, strengthening our leg, pulling the belly in so that you're not arching too much, but not rounding your back too much neither. Always, once again, remembering elongating your lower back and strengthening your lower back. And from here, reach down to the floor with your hands, keeping your knees bent. Find a straight back, pull the belly in, and as you exhale, bend your knees generously and fold and hang. One more time, you're going to go back up the chair position. Knees bent, press your feet against the floor, pull the lower part of the abdomen in, arms over the head, couple of breaths. So here we are working on strengthening our back and our leg, mobilizing the area around the lower back. Next exhalation, keeping your knees bent. On your fingertips, straighten your back, pull the belly in. Feel the connection, the channel all the way from your tailbone to the top of the head. And with next exhalation, keeping your tailbone lifted up, bend your knees generously and fold forward. Hang from your hips with your upper body. And now from here, let's step your right foot back and place your back knee on the floor. Keeping your fingertips on the ground next to your hips, come up a little bit, squeezing your legs into the center line, pull the low part of the abdomen in, and keeping that pulling from your low part of the abdomen, allow your hips to go forward so that you feel mainly front of your right hip rather than the pressure building up in your lower back. Tuck the tailbone in gently so that you keep that channel along your lower back long and open. Now with next inhalation, you're going to come up, give a bit of a slack in your hips, and once again pull the low part of the abdomen in and allow your hips to go down. Tucking the tailbone in, pulling the low part of the abdomen in, squeezing your legs into the center line so that the weight does not get stuck in your lower back, but it distributes through your hands and through your leg into your feet. One more time, come up a little bit and exhale. Pull the belly in. Full palm on the ground, come to downward facing dog, and then we're going to change to the other side. Just a couple of breaths here, lengthening your spine, opening the back of the leg. And with next inhalation, step your right foot forward, back knee on the floor, stay up on your fingertips so that you can give the weight into your hands. And come up a little bit with your hips to give a bit of a slack. Pull the low part of the abdomen in. And as you exhale, hips going down while continuously pulling the belly in. Tucking the tailbone in. Squeezing the legs into the center line. Widen your collarbone. Next inhalation, bit of a slack, come up a little bit. Pull the belly in and exhale. Continue pulling the belly in as you lower your hips down. We're going to repeat this one more time. Next inhalation coming up, bit of a slack, and exhale. One more breath. Press your back foot against the floor so that the weight must go down through your leg rather than getting stuck around your hip area. So pressing your feet against the floor and squeezing the legs into the center. Feel that your legs are underneath your hips, really supporting you. All right. Full palm on the ground. Come to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths once again. Lifting up the tailbone, elongating your spine and opening the back of the leg. With next exhalation, let's come down to table pose. Make sure your hands are shoulder wide distance, shoulders above your wrist, and the knees right underneath your hips. And from here, let's lift up your right leg. Keeping your back foot flexed. We are not looking for lifting up the leg as high as we can, but rather kicking back strongly, squeezing the legs into the center, belly in. And from here, if you feel balanced enough, then reaching forward with your left hand. Now what is important, what we are working here is once again bringing stability around your belly and around your lower back. So we don't arch, but really pulling the belly in to elongate your spine while strengthening. Let's change. Bring the knee and the hand down. Start with the left leg up. Make sure you're not leaning to the side. Kicking back with the back heel, pull the belly in. And reaching forward with your right arm if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, you can keep your right hand on the floor. One more breath. Focusing on stabilizing your lower back and your hips and coming down. Let's repeat this one more time each side. Right leg back. And maybe your left hand as well. Belly in. Kicking back with the back leg. Make sure your back foot stays flexed so that the leg is engaged, helping to carry the weight. Next breath, change to the other side. One more breath. Keep pulling the belly in. And reaching down to the floor with the knee and the hand. Come up on your knee. We're going to continue with the camel pose. Have your knees hip wide distance right underneath your hips, keeping your toes tucked under. Have your hands around your sacrum, fingertips pointing down. Now, with your hands, as we go into a back bend, use your arms to carry the weight of the upper back, and with your hands, gently guide the sacrum to go down, tucking the tailbone in. Inhale. And exhale, keeping your sternum lifted up, tuck the tailbone in and squeeze your legs. Pull the belly in. And keeping that belly pulled in, we're going to come back to the center. And then relax. We're going to repeat this 2 more times. Pull the belly in. Guide the sacrum down, tucking the tailbone in. Squeeze the legs. Allow your chest to go back and hips forward. And coming back while keeping your belly engaged. Once you come up, then relax. One more time. Belly in, tailbone in, squeeze the legs, hips forward, chest up, keep your head up. The weight of the head is, it may seem small, but it's quite heavy. And coming back, pull the belly in to come back. Once you come back, then relax. Place your hands on the floor, and we're going to come to plank position. Keep your feet hip wide distance. And now here, elbows straight, tuck the tailbone in, pull the belly in. Squeezing the legs into the center line. Keep this engagement in your low back, in your belly and your tailbone, and squeezing of the leg, those three parts. I repeat one more time. Low part of the abdomen in, tucking the tailbone in, and squeezing the legs into the center. From here, from plank, we're going to lower the hips, but I'm going to ask you to keep that engagement of those three parts. Low part of the abdomen in, tucking the tailbone in and squeezing the legs, and then coming back to plank pose. So we are not going down all the way with the hips down on the floor. You go as far as you can without compromising that stability in your low back. We repeat 2 more times. Exhale, tuck the tailbone in, squeeze the legs, pull the lower part of the abdomen in, and coming back. When you come back, do not relax. Back to plank pose. One more time. Belly in, tucking the tailbone in, squeeze the legs. Do not relax. Keeping the belly in, coming back to plank. Well done. Lift up your hips, come to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here, lifting up the tailbone. And from here, step one of your leg forward, and you're going to turn to the side to come into wide-legged position. In standing, have your big toes slightly pointing inward. Have your hands around your hips. And from here, we're going to come into 90 degree. Once again, you're welcome to bend your knees. Do not round your back. As soon as you round your back, your lower back is stretching and at the same time carrying the weight. So here, the lower back is carrying the weight, but without being stretched by keeping your back straight. Pull the belly in once again. And place your fingertips on the floor. To maintain your back straight with your hands on the floor, if you need to bend your knees, please do so. Couple more breaths here. Focus on stabilizing your lower back, elongating and strengthening. Belly in, sternum up towards your head. Pressing your feet against the floor. And with next exhalation, we're going to gently fold forward. Do not relax the head completely, and also try not to reach the floor with your head, but focus on hanging from your hips. Not stretching your back, but elongating your back. With next inhalation, coming back up on your fingertips, shift the weight towards your heels. Bend your knees a little bit and place your hands around your hips, coming back up to standing. Have your toes pointing outwardly. And from here, we're going to bend the knees, coming into goddess pose. Opening the hips. Often the tension around the hips creates more tension in the lower back. Now we're going to make a pulsation of coming up as you inhale and exhale coming down. When you come down, try not to arch and bring your hips back, but pull the belly in, keeping that stability in your hips. Inhale coming up and exhale coming down, belly in. Keep your back as straight as possible. Inhale coming up. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, belly in. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, coming up, toes pointing in. Hands around your hips, coming into 90 degree. On your fingertips. And exhale, fold forward. Elongating your spine. Do not hesitate to bend your knees to feel that hanging sensation. And with next inhalation, back on your fingertips, bend your knees a little bit, shift the weight towards your hips. Hands around your hips and coming back up to the center. Bring your feet a little bit closer, but still wider than hip wide distance. We're gonna finish with a standing spinal twist. Have your right hand forward and turning your right knee to your left side. Let it start from the foot, knee, hip, rib cage, shoulder, and your hand, and then the gaze. So that this twist has this feeling of spiraling all the way from the foot to the head and coming back to the center. To the other side, left hand up, foot. The foot is turning as well, hips, rib cage, shoulder, and your gaze. Stay right in the center line and coming back to the center. One more time. To the left. Coming back. Exhale to the other side. And coming back. Coming back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet hip wide distance, arms on the side. Press your feet against the floor, squeeze the legs in. Tuck the tailbone in, lower part of the abdomen in, lift up through the sternum, broaden your collarbone, lift up through the back of the head. Close your eyes, 3 deep breaths here. Feeling this connection through your feet to the ground and top of the head to the sky. Feeling how your body is a channel. And breathing through this channel from the top of your body to the bottom of your body. Finding alignment where this channel can breathe. And letting the energy, prana, flow through. One more breath. Thank you for joining me on this video. To finish this class, think of one simple thing you can do in your everyday life to support your lower back. Comment below. If you like this video, give a thumb up and subscribe to my channel for weekly yoga practice. I wish you a beautiful day and see you soon. Keep shine on.